With Uber and Grab's merger, it seemed Grab had achieved market dominance, and some feared a monopoly in Singapore's ride-hailing market after an expensive war of attrition. But shortly after news of Uber's exit broke, Ryde, a Singaporean startup which began as a carpooling service in 2015, announced the launch of Ryde X, throwing its hat into the ride-hailing ring.
As a tech startup, you are supposed to go where people fear to go. I think that's the key, and then see where we can create value there. The business must be built on sound economics and ultimately be profitable. We won't be burning money trying to increase our market share in a very short space of time. We'll work towards profitability by not indiscriminately throwing promotions or incentives just purely to gain market share. We just do those trips that make sense. It's profitable for both the driver, makes sense for the rider and for the platform. Shorter commutes has its own issues, more cancellations, lower fares. Doesn't make economic sense also to do shorter trips. We'll focus on the scheduled longer distance trips for a start. To book a ride from 10 minutes to 7 days in advance. Minimum fare is $8. We also charge 10% commission for our drivers.
Ryde X will also feature surge pricing and the ability to tip and favorite drivers.
For Grab now it's 20%. Ryde, if it's 10%, that makes a lot of difference in the long run, because if let's say I'm doing 100 rides and taking an example of $10 as a fare, that would mean a $100 difference per week. For the pros of the scheduling system is that we are able to plan our routes, plan our time to run our errands in the day. Okay, so for the $8, it is more economical for the drivers. We don't have to keep searching for different customers, but the base fare maybe is only $4 or $5. But it only help to a certain extent, because Grab's incentive was quite attractive. It does make a difference for the income.
Because we charge drivers lower commission, 10% commission, so we can pass back some of the savings to the riders in terms of lower fare. So on average, I expect the riders will get 5% cashback on every trip without using any promo code.
The cashback amount will be credited into the in-app wallet and can then be used to offset the cost of your next ride.
There are segments of the market that are sensitive to price. There are other segments that are not sensitive to price and they are looking for service.
I'm currently using Grab, partly because I heard that Uber is shutting down. So previously I was using both. Yeah, so my habit will be to try Grab first because I find it cheaper. One day when I took a Grab from Guillemard Road to Toa Payoh, and it was only $3.20 or something, and I was very, very impressed.
I do not switch around like maybe some other consumers when there's a promo here or there. Price is not always the first consideration. I have a toddler, can't just Uber for a child seat, you have to pay extra and stuff like that. That availability then plays a part in the decision.
Ryde Pet, Ryde's carpooling option for pets, is also a popular service.
I don't think that the end state will be just one ride-hailing firm in the market. The key thing I personally would like to see is that for regulation to keep the market open and contestable. Make it a fairer playing field so that even any other company or startup that wants to enter this particular space is not unfairly penalized. For example, tying drivers with contract to drive for a particular platform. That's not good for the driver. He should be able to maximize his earnings across a few platforms, cap the fleet size in some way or another, to make sure that there's orderly growth. Certain general guidelines on predatory pricing. Right? You shouldn't price below the economic cost of a particular trip. Not to help the new entrant, but to just make sure that the playing field is level, so that competition and economic forces can then bring greater benefit and value to the consumer.